The brother of murdered teenager Stuart Lawrence has launched legal action against the Metropolitan Police, claiming he's been stopped up to 25 times because of the colour of his skin. Stuart Lawrence, who's 35, alleges that officers repeatedly target him and has now consulted lawyers. He says he feels angry and frustrated. A letter of complaint has been sent by him directly to the Met's Commissioner, Sir Bernard Hogan-Howe. Scotland Yard confirmed it had received the complaint, saying it is a very serious matter and it will be investigated thoroughly and speedily. Well, James Welsh is a lawyer with the civil rights organisation Liberty, and he joins me now from our Westminster studio. Thanks for joining us, James.
No problem.
Where does Stuart Lawrence stand legally with this?
Well, I mean, clearly he's got a case, or may have an argument, that he's been discriminated against on the basis of his race. The police have, like any public authority, like any of us, have to perform their functions in a way that doesn't discriminate, and he can show that he is being stopped excessively because of his race, then he would have the basis of his claim. At the moment he's making a complaint where the police or the Independent Police Complaints Commission won't directly considering whether there's been proper formal discrimination. But certainly the statistics in relation to stop and search, and he's complaining about being stopped in his car as I understand it, but the statistics of stop and search strongly suggest that you are far more likely to be stopped and searched by the police if you're black than if you're white.
Well, figures from 2012 show that black people are 30 times more likely to be stopped and searched by the police than their white counterparts. So complaints like this happen quite often?
I don't think they happen enough. I mean, quite frankly, the police aren't going to start reforming and rebuilding the confidence that they should have across the community unless they start exercising their powers in a fair, proportionate and non-discriminatory way. So I take my hat off to Mr. Lawrence for standing up and making a stand.
Now, what could be the possible repercussions if it is felt that the Metropolitan Police were in the wrong?
Well, I mean, the police have been faced with statistics showing that they exercise their powers of stop and search, different types of powers, disproportionately against black people for years. But I don't think there's ever been a finding in the courts that that constitutes discrimination. If there were ever to be such a finding, and I hope one day there will be because the statistics suggest that they are discriminating in the way that they exercise these powers, then the police would have to reform their ways.
Now, do you think there may well be a situation where other people may then decide they also want to make complaints? Because, as you said earlier, not enough people are doing so at the moment.
I think if somebody has been stopped persistently by the police, whether a stop and search on the street or whether being stopped in their car, and there's no justification for it, well, they ought to be complaining about it because, as I say, the police won't reform their ways until it's made absolutely clear to them that they have to perform their functions in a non-discriminatory way.
OK, well, James Welsh, thanks very much for joining us.